but nature strip. He's a force of nature today. Can he do it? Chautauqua, he's flying. Yeah!
But Kevin hit the front celebrity.
But this is a blitz. It's a weak blitz.
Have a go, you mug.
Mugs, we're here. Bean, Lloydie, what an absolute pleasure. I'm joined with two of the, blokes in Brisbane, put it that way. We'll leave it at that.
You're going to say two of the greats, or...?
Two of the greats. But we're looking at a nice little Doomben card, and by the term nice, I use that pretty loosely. But, Lloydie, welcome on the show, mate. How are you?
Always good, always good. Mackay Cup this weekend, so that North Queensland form comes to the fore, and looking forward to it. I think the Rocky Cup winner's going around at Doomben as well, so, mate, form lines everywhere.
Well, Her Majesty Gay Waterhouse comes to Brisbane, so let alone when
right.
she comes from Rockhampton, mate. That's something special. But Bean, this week, mate, are you liking the card? I know you're quite outspoken.
I've gone pretty wide, actually. To be honest, the card's an interesting one. I think there are some that should just get the job done, and then there's other races that are wide open. So yeah, looking forward to it. I think there's plenty of value there for the mugs.
Excellent, mate. Well, it looks like race one is the way to go. But before we get into it, you're seeing us debuting here on YouTube as well, Monks. So if you're listening, we're going to put together a handy little weekly show. So this week's a bit of practice to see if it actually films. But it's going to be entertaining, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
And we've got some big news coming. We'll leave that for next week because we might get fired before we even announce the news, to be completely honest. But boys, race one, 2-year-old, handicap conditions, up to the mile. A lot of these 2-year-olds coming into, I guess, the last couple of weeks of them being two.
Yep.
Want to get some valuable, cutest money on the board, but breeding, mate. I know you're a bit of a snufflordy when it comes to breeding. Hinged at $2 is as simple as put in, put out for the old hinge for KWT.
If you're laying it on the Betfair, I think it's as good as a put in, pull out. But no, mate, I nearly didn't run the 1350 last start. I'm happy to be against it at the mile. I'm with Gerald Ryan and Sterling Alexio's Bay of Kyle, or Keel, however you want to say it. 2-year-old filly. She's by Redoubt's choice out of Faint Perfume, who won an Oaks back in the day for JB Cummings. So, look, a little bit concerned that the mile first up for a 2-year-old, it might sort of stretch it out a little bit, but its form's better than these. It's 8th of 9 on debut over the 1100 behind 4 moves ahead. A couple of subsequent winners come out of that race. Happy to be with it.
Oh.
Mate,
Come on, mate.
I'm shifting away from it as well. I've gone pretty rough here, actually. I have Mashani Diva on top at about $16 in early markets last night. I'm similar to Lloydie. I just think I just don't think Hinge will run the 1600. It looked like it was peaking on the run last start. Mashani Diva just missed Archdeacon last start, coming home and peeling off, or almost peeling off Millwood as well in that race. I think the weight swing goes against here in the favour of Archdeacon, but I just think the 1600 is the key. And Taylor Marshall, mate, he's flying at the moment.
Yeah, Glasshouse winner.
Yep.
He's put
He had a pretty good day last Sunday as well.
Put some flowers in that vase he got.
Yeah.
So good on him. I'm going to talk some sense into you boys, because the mugs out here, we love a $2 favourite in the start, mate. I don't know what you're talking about. It was absolutely hunting the line there. Rajan challenged it. It kicked back. It was absolute steel job. And $2 is, I'm playing that all day. It's beat up half this field. Bay of Keel, mate. 8 lengths behind, 4 moves ahead. How is that form?
Mate,
It's ran once.
The 1100, mate. It was too short for it. It gets
And
to
it was
its mile.
$31 that day.
That's right, mate.
Well, look, he's in town for a reason, so I'll put it in for my first
And
4
he's
as 4th.
great first up trainer.
All right, well,
Always fit.
that's why we've got 3 opinions here, Monk, so we confuse you even more coming into race 1. Look, race 2, we might be hopefully seeing this a little bit clearer, and seeing too many of it opens your favourite. That's pretty good there. Pretty brave second behind Indispensable, who goes around at the shorts later in the day, I believe.
Yep.
Haven't got that far yet, have we, boys? Tavion Prince, he's a soft or a heavy specialist for our major sponsor of the show, TJ Golan. G'day if you're watching, TJ. I can't see the favourite getting beaten here, boys. Costa's flying, Malian on board. I'm going to keep it short and sharp and say $4 is your multi into Hinged. Beandog, I know you like to ruffle some feathers though.
Yeah, I've settled on Momentum to win. He is a non-winner, but he comes off a few starts. He's finally getting to an ideal trip out to the 2000. He just needs a good track. That's been the problem the last couple. He did all the donkey work last start. If you watch it coming through wide around the corner. And I just thought barrier 3, just off the pace, Burn on board. He'll be right in behind them, and he drops 4 kilos. I think it's a pretty good bet each way at $17 and $4.40. I think.
Zip at the track, mate. Does it give you a bit of worry?
No, not concerned.
Okay, simple.
I'm going to build on what both of you have said. I was on Momentum to win at the 60s last start and got beat 0.2, but anyway.
Legend,
yeah.
Legend.
Straight out as well, might add. But look, seen too many. She goes on top. 2 starts back when she won at Randwick, she beat Zing and Le Chevalier, who Le Chevalier came out and rained him last weekend.
Wine's good.
That's right. So he's in on top, and I'm going to have the exacta with Momentum to win. So I think we're on the same page there.
Jeez, bit of juice there,
there we
Mum.
go.
So there you go. You heard it first. Of course, you know how we roll. We won't be on that exacta, and it will absolutely salute.
Although
And
we'll be on and they'll run 1-3.
That's right. But hopefully someone out there
Yeah.
maybe adds the horse that finishes second and gets a juicy one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mate, well, we're talking, not Grafton form, we've seen too many, but Mr. Grafton himself, Costa, trains that horse. But we've got the Grafton Guineas winner here in race number 3, Tamerlade. Now, look, Muggs, if you didn't see that, go back and watch that replay. Absolutely put him to the sword. It seems a pretty smart horse, and the mile's obviously going to suit. You got Zenefa that's done nothing wrong. Rogue Rocker did something wrong last start. That's about the only blemish there.
Ran into a brick wall.
Ran into a brick wall. You've even got, well, you're getting $26 for the actuary. So, which if you look at, I guess, 2 starts back, perhaps not last start, it was a bit of a forgive run in the Guineas, but there's value, there's depth. Is Tamerlade the short way home though for the Mugs?
No,
No?
I don't think so.
Yeah. 2 no's.
No. I think, like, Tamerlade, I think deserving favourite, and like you said, that Grafton one was good, the only one to make ground really there all day. But I actually thought Sophia was probably the best on the card for mine, actually, at the $6. I big opinion of her when she won a maiden at Cranbourne or wherever it was back down in Victoria a while ago. I thought she was sort of 1,000 Skinnies prospect. Didn't get there. But her first up win up here in Queensland for Lee Friedman at Eagle Farm, she brained them, and she had she had plenty of gas left in the tank at the end of it. So $6 here, up to the mile. She's the horse on the up. The others are sort of coming to the end of their preps. I'm really keen on Sophia at the each way quote.
Well, I think Zenefa gets home here. It's again. I've got a few non-winners in my little book of tips here on Saturday. But first up, nice third behind Palacepan, who is absolutely trucking. Georgie goes on Cartwright. That is one of Lordy's favourite jocks there. Runs a second behind
Georgie
our
Shadow.
Playboy in the Wing Skinnies. Stays at a similar trip. And to be honest, Doomben, I think, rail out 3.5, so should be relatively on pace. It's the only real leader in this race, and I think if it dictates out in front, could be a bit of robbery here.
That's what I'm worried about with Zenefa. Could just be a bit too far in front for Tamerlade, because I'm launching the favourites, mate. I've gone 3 from 3.
Oh,
How
God,
good is this?
jeez.
I must. I
He's
need to owe-
done his
need to owe
form.
you
He just
mugs a
clicked
bit
the
of
prices and they just
Yeah,
all
look,
came up. Yeah.
couldn't be bothered this week.
that must be the winner.
It's simpler.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
people
that's
pay
the-
for this kind of
yeah.
tipping service, you know? Jeez. I'm worried. The concern is obviously Grafton Guineas was a listed race. That's obviously got to be a target race for any trainer.
Yeah.
But coming back to just a 3-year-old handicap, is it just one more run for the sake of it? But if it does anything similar to what it did in that start, it should just round them up here. I just think it's a pretty special
for the
kind of
horse.
horse. But it's whether they're just going around for a potential paycheck or it's time to hit the paddock, we'll find out at
Never won on
12:30.
Never won on a dry deck though,
Hasn't it?
It's a mudlark, mate. That was sort of my
Yeah,
bit
well,
of a concern.
as
Although
you
it's
can
sub 5 at
see,
Doomben.
as you can see looking around, don't think there's too much weather around, is there?
No.
We didn't even
They
give the
said
mugs the
rain-
track
they-
report,
I
did
saw-
we?
I
What is
saw-
it? Rail out 3.
Yeah, rail out 3.5, soft 5 conditions.
Yeah.
But I think they've said there's a bit of rain tomorrow. We know Doomben does sort of hold a bit of moisture in the surface, so if there's any rain tomorrow, it probably stays a soft. But otherwise, I think we're racing on a good track come Saturday.
Better than an Eagle Farm, whatever, though. Let's
Yep.
be honest.
Yep.
Let's be honest.
Yep.
Race 4, boys.
Yeah, this is just a
This is a good, handy little race, isn't it?
Yeah.
Miami Fleece is back for
Yeah.
Georgie and TJ. Bit of a connection there for those two. Barrier 10, though, is well, maybe a concern. Perhaps she's learnt to tuck in off speed.
Settle a bit, I think, is the query.
But you've got good old Dusty Tycoon from Barrier 5, who doesn't know any other way. And if you like it at the $8, get a piece of it now, because it'll come into $1.40. We all know that. The My Runners party's pretty keen. Mate, I know you're a bit of a Dusty fan this time around. What do you reckon?
Mate, Dusty's out for the Tigers, and he's also going to be out here, I think, for the for race 4. Now, I've stuck with Miami Fleece. I think it was a forgive run last start. Before that was I think 2.
Well, that was
about 10 lengths.
Yeah, and that was that
cutest
2-year-old down
it was
the
on
GC.
about a heavy 98, so clearly just doesn't go a yard on the heavy ground. It'll be a dry track. TJ's had a bit more time with her, and I just think wins.
Bloodstock, boom.
Yep.
Yeah, not going to say much more, mate. $1.90. Yeah, jump lead wins. She's a star.
Well, I'm going against you guys here. I'm jumping on the My Runners.
This is a disgrace.
So My Runners HQ, if you're watching us, sling us 0.001% share for giving you a plug. I just think it can lead and go. Second up, it's going to be fitter. Got to remember at a stage, I mean, it's easy to say this, but it was a Magic Millions favourite after its debut run a long time ago, and then of course all the other horses started proceeding. But I think it was a perfect scenario for this kind of a setup. That it's a half decent horse. Doomben's going to run. I just think it gets the lead from Miami Fleece, and Miami Fleece could be in a bit of strife. And at $2 first up, 3 wide, it's going to be a pretty damn good horse, and I'll be happy to jump back on the bandwagon.
Afterwards,
I just don't think it's a good horse, but anyway.
Yeah, well, you can still win a race, mate. We've got a pretty good horse, and we haven't won a race.
Yeah,
with
he's
it yet,
he's ruthless. He's ruthless today. God.
Yeah, I don't know. This could be a one-off deal, mate. We'll have to cut all the special things coming up. No, we can't do that. Well, look, this is what we got him in for, Ben, because race 5 is an absolute put your head between your legs, see how far you can get down, and don't come back up to watch this race.
Yeah.
I hate this race.
There's a few of these actually on the card on Saturday. Like they almost get worse. I think after the first sort of 4, they sort of start to get super difficult.
Well, you're getting. It's a BM72 over 2,000, and there's no Chris Waller runners. That's what throws us off, because this is really the Chris Waller handicap, isn't it?
It's his wheelhouse, isn't it?
You're getting $5 a field ultimately. Costa's flying. He's got the catch. Ex-Victorian. I mean, this is the toughest challenge to date, I would presume. KWT, that claim's going to be pretty handy, but we don't like backing apprentices on the show. Lloydie, mate, let's divulge into your little journalism expertise on the form. Tell us what you reckon.
Mate, I just think the catch from Barrier 1 gets all the favours, and
looked at the favourite and picked it, didn't you?
Pretty much, but the Grafton form, mate. That's well, I'm shopping around the Northern Rivers region a little bit this afternoon, so watch this space for a bit later on, punters. But no, look, the catcher's win was good. Beat Rock Pearl by a couple of lengths with the 60.5, drops down to the 54. Barrier 1, it's just, if it doesn't lead at box seats, not much else really to say about that there. I think it wins, but
he really wants to get down to Lismore, doesn't he?
Well, the oath he does. God, it's outrageous, mate.
If it's Cheeky Monkeys after party in Byron, that's
mate,
what we want to do.
If it's box seating, then Wonderful Day will be box seating from the 2 for Byrne and Forster. It was pretty good last start. It looked to sort of die on its run the last final 100, but then picked up and kicked again and went down again to the fairly clever Alatar. I think you were on that day that came flying down the outside. Looks pretty smart. Plays twice this prep, handles the conditions. I just think Byrne can get Wonderful Day home here. It looked like it just sort of picked the bit up again, the final 100 after dropping it between the 3 to the 2 or something like that. So, yeah, happy to be with again. $14.
All right, well, we need to juice up that fecky, and I've got one that's not really a special nor dashing, but for some reason I'm on dashing special here. I know a lot of people have been on this horse in the past and have been, well, let's say 55 career starts for 5 wins. You've been hurt 50 times. It's not a very good strike rate. It's just coming back from a BM78, it's BM72. That last race, it was at 40s, but it was sort of coming home. I mean, it was nothing real eye-catching, but behind...
I
know, I'm getting there. But I just think Tears of Love, London banker, Cinqueda, Chinkadea, Cosmopolitan. I think those particular form horses would absolutely destroy a field like this, and you're getting 16s each way.
Yep.
So, you know what? We can't make a case for much else.
No.
That's a bit of a
We've probably
case.
spent too much time on that base.
Yeah, we need to move on, mate.
Yeah.
The boys and the Muggets out there want to get the quaddie. We've got one that could be pretty clever here.
Yeah.
So clever.
Yeah.
I mean, and the more they're up at the GC now, aren't they? They're based there now, so it's good that they've got a little
back from
potential
Hong
champ.
Kong.
Honkers, yeah. I think some big things coming there.
Yep.
But it is, I guess, it's a bit of a Brisbane field, this one, isn't it? You've got, well, let's go down the list. Acrobatic, second favourite. It's been around forever, it seems like, and just doesn't really win
One
for
last
us.
start,
But
yeah.
good chat. Yeah, that's some good chat right there. I mean,
It's a costly horse, isn't it?
jet ski, barrier 17, you know, is always up and about. And you've even got, you know, the Golden Yard here with Lashoni, who you get $21 from Lashoni.
That thing is just
$2.80,
Yeah.
2 from 2.
Yeah.
Bean, are you that confident?
It's time to launch. This is almost the best bet there. I think Jaden Lloyd, 3 kilo claim. It'll lead uncontested from barrier 3. It'll just do exactly what it did last start. Rewatch that. I think there was another $2.80 pop in that last run.
That would have been
Yep.
super gorgeous.
Yeah,
too.
it was.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Put 2 links on it.
Yeah, just
And it's 1 cent.
absolutely creamed her. So and the astute trainer John Moore back from Hong Kong. I think he has a pretty smart one here. It could be the building of the bit of a stable build horse here. Yep.
Boom.
Yep, no, I couldn't agree more, mate. Jaden takes the 3 kilos off him with 52.
Yeah,
Barriers 3, you know, it just gets all the favours. I think it leads. And that last start, like, super gorgeous, who he beat by 2 and a bit. It's come out and won. I think Calm Your Farm, that ran 5th, got beat 6 lengths. It came out and won on Wednesday at 40s. And a big chance that ran last in that race ran 3rd at, you know, $23 a place in that same race as Calm Your Farm. So form stacks up, and these are just no good that it's up against. So
Yeah. Well, you've convinced me, boys.
Yeah.
I'm going to feel pretty clever to jump on.
Yeah. There's no there was I was waiting for the old. Well, I'm about to bring you down to my level, mate.
No, definitely not. I want to get on your level for a change, you two.
I think it's a 1 out in the quaddie leg, sort of.
I am. I will just mention.
Don't.
There's another one in there, explosive quality, which
Yeah.
has been scratched for about the last 15 weeks.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the hell they're doing with that horse.
Yeah.
But it could be a little bit of a put it in as a second leg.
They're just spending
I
some
can't be
money on
backing it
arms.
because, well, it's almost first up again.
Yeah.
You know, it had 2 bolters,
Yeah.
and then I think it's just not a wet weather horse. I
Yeah,
think
so
that
they've
might be
had
the
to
GO.
scratch it, yeah.
And when you're down the GC, it's always the GO.
Yeah.
You get wet down there.
That's right, mate.
Super wet.
Wet.
It's $2 pop central this week, and I don't really know what to make of some of these favourites, even though I've clearly been on half of them in my form so far. I'm sticking with indispensable here, as stated, but we've got the King of North Queensland here, mate. Does Gay and Adrian, did they have something special with Regal Stage up with that rocky form, or is it a fluke?
No, it was a good win. It sort of had to do it pretty hard early, and you know that rocky straight. I think Elliot and I were talking about it the other day. Nothing still seems to make ground, even though it's a mile long.
Yeah.
It's 2 kilometres long. You
It
can't
is.
run on.
You
From
can't run on. And
I get puffed out watching the horses
You're gonna
run
be
down the
leading.
straight. Yeah.
That's it. And you know, it hit the front a long way from home and had plenty of challenges and sort of staved them off. So that, you know, that $7 or $8 that's around is probably not a bad each way bet, really.
Barrier 12, you reckon it cheaps the lead out in front?
Oh, it certainly pushes there, you know, like, but I'm not with it.
No.
No,
Never mind.
no, I'm on Michael Costa's books, mate, this week. I think it's third tip I've given his stable, but Willow Tito, I'm a big fan of her. She probably, you know, she's a lot better on a dry track. She's won 6 of her 7 wins on the dry. Again, Grafton form, 2.5 lengths behind Hard Labour and Think Free. She beat home Zach Attack in that. Barrier 1, I think Jimmy Orman can just sort of pinch it at the big price.
It's a big price, Ben. Are you jumping in the indispensable?
No, I think I've got some great powers here, and I think I don't think it's done anything wrong. Pretty impressive last start for the Curry stable. Taylor Marshall again. So if Byrne and Marshall go okay on the weekend,
Yeah.
Beans pockets and the mugs will be full. But last start the Sunny Coast, it sort of came around the corner, kicked and led. It's pretty hard to hang on there, and it looks super impressive. Regal Stage will come across and try and lead. Indispensable will probably be in the same spot, and it'll just be able to box seat in behind them. And in a big field, I sort of don't really want to be on. I mean, there's also sort of like Profit, Prospectus, and I could do better, but they're just all going to be in the pack and
well, you just can't
hoping
trust
for
them anymore,
luck.
can
And
you?
I just feel like Great Powers, it comes off that win. I don't think it did anything wrong, and I think from the draw it's going to be box seating and be pretty hard to beat, I think, in this. And it's had a bit of early money, 16 into 11s, I see.
Yeah.
So happy to be with.
Well, as I said, mate, I'm launching the $2 favourite. There's just another one of those horses I want to just take you back. Fasano. What's happened to this thing? I mean, you go through...
Yeah, it was a superstar.
It's got a 3-length behind Subpoenaed back in its Rose Hill days, and then it came and put two together. Looked like a pretty smart horse, and just hasn't really done much since,
Did it
has
used
it?
to race in like the white with the green and yellow?
No, I think
Check
Heathcote's... Oh, maybe in
like
Sydney.
in Sydney?
Yeah,
Yeah.
perhaps. Well, I think David Payne used to have it.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, well, it'll come out and win at 40s now. Watch this space, hey?
That'll Plip was just a really
Oh,
wrong.
Clipness, that's another one.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the who's who. We should really do a runner-by-runner guide for this race. I mean,
You got Profit
BME
from Barrier 15
oh.
with Leah Kilner on board.
Gee
Star-
whiz.
Stardom.
The Mugs horse.
Mugs horse. I know about the Mugs jockey.
Prioritise.
Intuition. Oh.
Boomtown Rat. Yeah,
Intuition. Did that go through the Kosciuszko?
Yeah, this is the classic Queensland battler
Yeah.
cup, isn't it? Really, like it's sort of.
It's what we aspire to have a horse running in. To be honest,
pretty
yeah.
much.
To be honest, don't pick a horse with 8 races to guarantee prize money. Go the one with 45 in it.
Yeah.
They'll finish 40th. All right, boys, back on track.
Yep.
Fillies and Mares, Class 6. I believe it's at the set. No, it's handicap, even better. Bit of Cutis money. And that man, Bobby Heathcote, that we gave a bit of a mention to, East Asia's just starting to put together,
Yep.
isn't she? So, huge win last start at the Sunny Coast. We were up there, Lloydie, which knocked us out in the last leg, which wasn't too great, but...
I laid her that day, so that's how good I was going.
Yeah, that's it. We had a blinder.
She can't win from barrier 48.
Oh.
Came and rounded them up in
Exactly.
two quick
It was
steps, and she was off and
Winks-esque.
gone. Yeah.
Winks-esque of the Guineas a few years back. Hard Labour seemed to put it together last start though as well. You've got the big man himself. He's got really discreet Peroni, who haven't been reigning out of form either. But again, mate, the list goes on. I think we've got a full field. You're getting $81 for the longest in this field. Been short way home. Are you on the East Asia bandwagon
Yeah,
this week?
I have to jump back on. Last start was just too impressive, I think. Like I said, I potted her and she came out and made me look like a fool, which is happens a fair bit when it comes to the tips I throw out each week. But there's plenty of pace here from the inside. Hard Labour sort of seems to hammer along. I think the speed map's completely wrong because just only has one way, really. Picks up a kilo, which goes against, I guess, and draws in 13, but... I think $13.50, should just win, really. $4.20 is almost a spoiler, I think, to be honest. I know the field's even, but I thought, like, it's
worried
forming what it was doing.
She didn't beat much last start.
Nah, not concerned.
Can only beat what's in front of you, mate.
Yeah,
that's
I think
it.
it's
It
honestly,
was a
I
good
think,
win,
I think
yeah.
it's honestly that, though. Like, it is, isn't it? Like, it can only beat what you're racing against. Like, I get this is a better field, but I'm just like, that's probably why you get the $4.20, but I still think it's a pretty good bet.
Yeah. Mate, Rocky form.
Oh, the best form.
That's right. Look, one that she was a really good 2-year-old better reflection. She's dropped off a cliff, and it's been a while since we've seen her. I think aside from her last start, her 3 runs in Southeast Queensland, she finished last in all of them. And then she's been back up to Rocky. She's put in a third, second, and a third before coming 5th in the provincial sprinters final at the Sunny Coast on Cup Day. She sort of box seated that day, and when El Cosmo dropped out and Derulo got left in front and kicked away, she kind of just got left flat-footed and had to cart the rest of the field up. And she finished 5th, but there was 1.3 lengths, between first and second, and then there was only another 0.4 between those 4 horses that have run 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So she could have just as easily have finished 2nd in that, and I don't think we'd be getting the $18. Bradley Neville Stewart on board. He's best
Little
jockey.
names.
Yeah,
Gee
BNS.
whiz.
That's right. Up to the $13.50. Back from open company to Fillies and Mares grade Class 6. $18. Hello.
Yeah, you take a bit of that. I'm going to take the $4 with you, Bean. East Asia on top. I just think it's put it together now.
Yeah.
That was We knew what kind of horse we were getting. I know we've been a fan of it for a while, but it's just going to be a get back, run on kind of horse. I think Doomben, as we've seen with Eagle Farm, the rail's back in. Doesn't mean the grass is any better. Yeah. So I think they'll still be able to do that come Saturday. I think it'll play pretty fair. So we know she's got the turn of foot. Just needs to. Yeah, just needs to come to 340 on Saturday.
It's always luck. It's going to be luck all the time with a horse like that.
Yeah,
but you just have to. Yeah,
speed's going to be on. Wide draw for hers.
I think it's a bonus. I think I wrote that down. It is a bonus.
Well,
I prefer that to 2 or 3. Like as much as she can box seat, she doesn't though.
Yep. No.
So she draws 2 or 3. She's on the rail between with 6 of them in front of her.
Yep.
We don't want that.
Big ditters get the job done for us, Snakes.
Come on, mate.
Or B&S.
Yes.
Hey, ooh, love to bloody get some jockeys' middle names, mate. If we're going into that depth of analysis.
Jeez.
That's Chargie's go-to, mate, on Twitter. Bradley Neville, good on you, mate.
Right, yeah. G'day, Chargie. I know you're watching and listening, mate. You're a good lad.
Shout out.
But, sorry, Chargie, we've got the real Mackay expert here, don't we, mate? We'll get there. Hold on. We've still got the get out to get through it at Wonderlust Doomben on Saturday. Roman Aureus, he's back. He's drawn barrier 14. That puts a bit of a spanner in the works there for the Wakefield fans. Look, another one of those horses of Heathcote's that we sort of mentioned did some good things once upon a time, Ziemba.
Yep.
Second favourite, $5.50. Nauticus done nothing wrong. Stuttering, another one of those Heathcote has-beens. Oh, could be big week. Bean, I know you love a bit of stuttering.
Yeah.
But we go down the list. I mean, Heathcote, he's got a bloody list here, doesn't he? Star Virgo. What are your thoughts about Star Virgo?
Oh, mate,
No?
I'm not talking about Star
Okay,
Virgo.
we'll keep going.
That thing's ruined more bank accounts than anything going around in Australia.
Well, you've even got Brilliant Concept, which is another Heathcote runner at $91, mate. It's a big, solid field. From barrier 1, Stuttering could just sneak out in front. How you seen it, Bean?
Yeah, look, I'm with Ziemba. I think Maloney's a pretty key booking here for Ziemba. It ran home behind Atwit's End. One of Nick tipped it at absolute 26s or something on Ipswich Cup Day, and it came out and won super
again,
impressively next start. Roman Aureus was in that race. It does get the claim, but that barrier draw is poison. That is just it is dead set death for Roman Aureus. Ziemba was making ground last start. That's the best part of its trip, and I just think it gets all the favours here. So I think I'm happy to be with. It was almost like Group 1. It was almost Group 1 level Ziemba.
I think it was
last prep or prep before that.
Very sneaky, might sneak into a Stradbroke kind of horse, wasn't it?
So
that Emerald Kingdom last year. Emerald Kingdom obviously is going on with it, but
on that, I have to just be with it. I just think it's the class, and that barrier for Aureus is death.
Top that, mate. Top that. He's made a case for Ziemba. You wouldn't read about it.
Mate, you've got one running on behind at Wits End last start.
Yeah.
I want to go one that's beaten at Wits End at its last start. And that comes out of the Beef Week Cup at Casino.
Oh, God.
Totro Duro for Toby and Trent Edmonds. The Big Grey.
Been there.
Big Grey, Bradley Neville on again.
Jeez, fan club.
That's right. His first up run, he ran last. He only got beat 5.5 lengths, but that was behind Fender and Garibaldi in the that Class 6 that afternoon.
Garibaldi is peak Queensland form.
Exactly. Let's be honest. That's right. And then he went to Casino and he got home. He won by a 0.08 of a length to beat at Wits End, and that was the race before at Wits End went out and won its next 2 pretty impressively. Got that good win at Ipswich and then brained them last start. I think that form's good enough. It's beaten at Wits End. You can get them $34 about at some bookies.
I don't think I've ever heard one in Casino in the same sentence, so I'm just a little bit taken aback right now.
Where is Casino?
Well, the only casino I've been hasn't been as fun as that casino.
In the Beef Week Cup.
Well, throw that in
form, mate. That is form. Hey.
That is.
Don't need to buy a kebab at Beef Week, do you?
No.
I'm going a tragic Abini. He's probably going to give me some. Well, you'll be able to see the dirty eyes. I've got Stuttering on board, mate. I think this could be a steal in the last. I think he can just lead
I found
and
it
go.
pretty hard, to be honest. I think there's a couple that can win this.
Real tough race.
Yeah.
I think his go when he strung a few together a couple of preps ago, and that was running on front, not really having a lot of trouble, being able to sort of just keep that pace out to catch. And he could get that here, which would be the first time in a long time. 2+ on board at barrier 1. Nothing's going to shape better as a
They
chance
can't
for
win on
Saturday
Saturday.
this
It's
week.
never going to
Exactly.
win again.
So
pretty much.
and you know,
just-
$10, mate. If it wins, I should be able to shout you a Forest Gold or something. There's a bit of a condolence.
If it doesn't win, it
on
should be on. It should be on the next plane to Tokyo for the equestrian team because it should never run in a horse race again.
No.
Unless Potro Duro beats it, then.
Oh yeah.
The whole field's on a plane.
then everyone's on the plane.
To be quite honest, between the three of us, we could fill about 15 planes. I think to get some of these horses we keep getting sucked into out of the bloody country.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Well, what a week. So Mugs, that's why we've got the big dog on. It's Mackay Cup on Saturday. So
That's right, mate.
Lloydie and Bean doesn't like to miss out on stuff too. So we'll give him a moment after you, mate. But Mackay Cup, give us a bit of a preview. You got our good friends, the Holberts, with Hale Manhattan. I think about what, $3, $3.50.
Is there a market up there?
There is a market, and
One step ahead of me.
Her Majesty Gay Waterhouse is here with Regal Stage. So that's your market, mate.
Yeah, right. I've just seen the market. I was
Must
right.
have just come out. That's how
Yeah,
that's
that's-
how breaking news we are on this show,
that's right.
Max. You know, yeah,
Yeah.
$3.50. Best Hoffer $6.50, and then Ganobe at $7.
Yeah, well, look, I was before the barrier draw. I was really keen on Ganobe, however you want to call it. Won the Kilcoy Cup 2 back, and then last start ran 4th in the Rocky Cup. Got a long way back and had drawn wide there again. If I can find whatever gate it jumped out of, barrier 10 in the field of 15. So barrier 13 again has to be a concern, but it was about the only horse that was still hitting the line late. So the $7, I probably want to be with it on top. Hale Manhattan, you can't take anything away from it. It missed that run in the Glass House the week before, and I've no doubt if it had have had that run, it would have won the Rocky Cup. Does go up the kilo to the 60, and Best Hoffer won this race last year and is absolutely flying. It won really well at Mackay first up, and then came from a mile back at Townsville last time out to win. I think the top 3 probably in the market, top 3 in the race book, they're the 3 that finish on the podium. Have a nice little boxed fecky.
1, 2, 3.
Yep.
And Bean, before we get into your banger, you've want to do a little around the ground segment here. So we're going to give you a chance. If this wins, we'll make it a weekly segment. Around the ground.
Mate, there's no
So
pressure.
the pressure
It's
is
an
on.
absolute roughie. I'm going to need a fair bit of luck, I think. But I think there's one in race 3 at Caulfield for those Melbourne punters out there. I don't follow it super closely, but I had this black book after its first up run. Swear she's perfect, number 11. 14 up to the 1400 here from the 1147 last start. It was absolutely hammering home for third last at Geelong, and I think the $16 and $4.20 for the Elton Zara stable. D Thornton on board, and it draws in 5, so it should be able to sit just off the pace, 1 or 2 pairs back, and if he gets the splits late, each way all day.
Each way all day. Okay, well, back that up with your banger, mate, because the
And
people
Beans-
listen to you. for
Beans
some
banger, mate. We need East. We need to get East Asia home in the 8th. I think I could throw in obviously the hot pot in So Clever, but East Asia I think wins this race at the $4.20. Beans banger all over that.
The lock, we can hear it live this week, mate. We don't need Grandma calling
That's
in
right,
asking
calling
for
in.
it.
Yeah,
How good?
That's
Just keep
right.
calling though. Love the calls.
Yeah. Race 3, I'm still on Caulfield there. Race 3, Sophia for Lee Friedman. I think she's the one on the up in the $6. Great. It's nearly an each way play there, but agree as well there with So Clever. Could just as easily have it as the best, I think.
Yeah, I'm going easy here. Race 1, let's have a fill up with Hinged. I know you two aren't like
Jeez,
it.
he's brave.
Well,
guys.
Put it this way, when we
I'll keep the bets with mates away from him until
Yeah,
race
that's right.
2.
Yeah, let's do that. I think.
let's just say I gave it a bit of a lay of the day last start and absolutely won like a champ, pulling away on the line, looking for that 1600, which it gets here today.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
That's right, mate.
Well, boys, it looks like to be a good little week. So have fun at Doomben. And
Fancy.
next week we'll have some big things. The show will be back, but we've got some tweaks, some news, everything is happening. So bloody
Bring
make
it
sure
on.
you follow us.
Yeah.
Anything to leave the mugs with?
No, but I think quaddie time. I think quaddie time and the Brisbane cards is probably a good. We might even start doing one here for the mugs out there. But I think I think quaddies could be the go the next couple of weeks, because while there's those $1.50 pops charging around there's plenty of value out there. I think
Well, that's it.
As you've seen from the review we've just done.
Yes, and we've sort of like put ourselves on a podium here, saying that because the winter carnival's over, this is when the form should read a bit truer.
Yeah.
So
It's
with
true Brisbane form.
yeah, true Brisbane form.
There's
So
no Sydney Raiders to come
that's
and
it.
spoil the party.
So we need to deliver.
Yeah.
So Mugs, if you're not subscribed to the Mugs letter, because we've sent out those mug books, and keep an eye on finding new winners. Thanks again.
Cheers, Mugs.
Cheers, guys.